Hello everyone, back tuning in to the 22nd Christmas update. So, we've done 21 updates so far. And we started off with CFSB2, of course, and we switched around 4 updates ago to the GFS. Since then, we've been counting down Christmas period, and now we have the full period, sort of from Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, right way through to New Year's Day. So, the full final week of the year and Christmas period is within the GFS time frame now. So we are rapidly firming up on the pattern, and I think we can say it probably isn't going to be a white Christmas, although we may have just about some colder conditions for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. It's a close run thing, but just those 2 days we might get something a little bit colder. I'll show you what's happening with tonight's 22nd Christmas update in a moment. But before we go on that, just to say that Christmas Shop is still open, so you've got an Christmas Shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas. Not much longer to go, of course. Then click green button that says Gaz Christmas Shop. It takes you to our Christmas Shop page, and from there, the key to it all is to go through the Amazon banners. Because you've gone from Gaz Office to Amazon, where you get a revenue fee on the things that you are buying. Big thank you for everybody for doing that. You've still got time to get Christmas presents to you from Amazon, but of course, time is getting on ever more now, so 2 or 3 more days, and then you really will be cutting it very fine indeed. But you do still have enough time to get those Christmas presents out to you at the moment. Right, so begin on Saturday, 23rd December, just 1 week away. So Christmas Eve is where we're starting for tonight's 22nd Christmas update. So we find that we've got a high pressure in across France and the Bay of Biscay. Got low pressure up to the northwest, and there's some sort of weather front that's coming into the north and west of the country as well. It's going to be a very mild week coming up this week. Do check out Weekend Broadcast to see more about that. Videos on the homepage, and you get the written version from buttons at the top of the page. This is how the upper air temperatures are looking for Christmas Eve, and we're in a very mild upper air temperature sort of situation, with the air being dragged in from the central part of the Atlantic Ocean. There is cloud and outbreaks of rain across western Scotland and also parts of Northern Ireland, Northwest England, but for the bulk of England and Wales, it's actually a dry day, and it is quite mild as well, so temperatures are ranging from something like sort of 7 or 8 degrees in the south-southeast to 11 or 12 degrees in the north and the northwest. Interestingly, the southeast is a little bit cooler there than northern and western parts of the country. This is how Christmas Eve is looking. And we bring down a cold front then on Christmas Eve. And as that pushes southeast, it is bringing down some quite cold air from Greenland. You'll notice the ice bars are going into the northwest. So a colder push of air is coming down behind a cold front on Christmas Eve. There's the upper air temperature showing that we are bringing colder air down across the country from the northwest, although the south still relatively mild. However, that cold air does even get into the south by the end of Christmas Eve. We've got a band of rain that's sinking southwards and eastwards through the course of Christmas Eve, with brighter skies following along behind. And then coming to be showers in the northwest. Of course, that's within quite cold air, so those showers would be turning wintry across northern and western parts of Scotland. However, the bulk of the country is actually dry there on Christmas Eve. And it's a colder day as well, so temperatures in the south are still hanging on to around 10 or 11 degrees. Midlands is sort of 6, 7, and then Northern England is 4 or 5, Northern Ireland is around 5 or 6, and Scotland is just 1 to 4. So colder air is moving down from the northwest during the course of Christmas Eve. That's how Christmas Day looks for tonight's 22nd Christmas update. We've got a little transient ridge building across the country, but the next area of low pressure, it's a big one, it's waiting in the Atlantic, starting to move weather fronts in from off the Atlantic Ocean. Now, upper air temperatures still look quite cold for northern and eastern parts of the country on Christmas Day. Milder upper air temperatures are starting to move in to the west and the southwest. So there's some sort of weather system that's pushing north and eastwards across the country on Christmas Day. It's coming into cold air. And, of course, as that gets sort of Northern England and Scotland, there is a possibility late on Christmas Day that might produce some wintry weather on the leading edge before these milder upper air temperatures start to push back in from the Atlantic. This is rainfall forecast at Christmas Day. We've got outbreaks of rain setting in across Ireland, Wales and South West England through the morning. That no doubt spreading northwards and eastwards through the course of the afternoon. This is how temperatures look first thing in the morning on Christmas Day. It looks quite frosty for many parts of the country. So if you want to be opening your Christmas presents with a bit of a seasonal white scene outside the windows, that doesn't look too bad actually. It could well be quite frosty there to start with during the course of Christmas Day. And overall, it's quite a cold day, really. These are the temperatures at midday, just sort of -1 to freezing across large parts of Scotland. So really quite cold there, down to 4 or 5 degrees in the south. It is turning milder in the far southwest. Of course, through the day, those milder temperatures will be pushing northwards and eastwards behind that band of rain. And then that takes us to Boxing Day. And Boxing Day, we're starting to pull up this southwesterly wind ahead of this big area of low pressure. So much milder air is pushing north east across the country on Boxing Day. There's the upper air temperatures. We're back into those mild upper air temperatures again. It's a mainly dry day, actually, but there would be a lot of cloud being pushed up on those long fetched southwesterly winds. There's the temperatures. So we're back into double figures for England and Wales, 10 to 12, a little bit cooler for Scotland, but even there is pretty mild for the time of the year. And then beyond that, I'll just run you through up to the new year. So this is how Wednesday 27th is looking. Again, very long fetched southwesterly wind. That could be a really mild day with temperatures going up to 14, maybe 15 degrees, although there could be some heavy rain out in the west. And it's turning quite windy as well, so probably very mild, wet and windy on Wednesday 27th. Thursday 28th takes a weather front across the country, introduces slightly cooler air, but windy still from the southwest. So a band of rain spreads across the country from the 27th, 28th, and then we're into sunshine and showers, I would have thought, with the air turning a little bit cooler, but still mild overall. Friday 29th brings a deep area of low pressure in from off the Atlantic. That looks a little bit stormy there, so wet and windy weather sweeps across the country Friday 29th. And maybe some gale or even severe gale force winds as well. Wet weather probably still left in the east on Saturday the 30th, but that clears away through the day. I mean, it leaves us in this cold or cool run of west to northwesterly winds. They're probably feeding in wintry showers to northern parts of the country. In the south, it would be rain, but it's a colder day. The air is coming from sort of southern Greenland, so that is a bit of a colder day for Saturday the 30th. Temperatures probably go back down into single digits. This is how New Year's Eve is looking. So another area of low pressure is waiting out in the wings. That probably gives us quite a wet and windy day on New Year's Eve. And then we go through to New Year's Day, and that area of low pressure is out of the way. The first day of 2018 looks reasonably dry and a slight transient ridge, although there's more low pressure downstream. So a big one there to west of Ireland, another one coming out of Newfoundland. All of those areas of low pressure got our name on it, so I reckon it's a very long way out, of course, as far as we can go with the GFS. I reckon there's a chance that New Year's Day could be very unsettled, maybe quite wet and windy. It does look as though after Christmas we open the door to the Atlantic and we might really start to rev up those westerly winds, maybe bring some stormy and wet weather in by the time we get through to the new year. So that's how the 22nd Christmas update is looking. It's not great if you want cold weather, and I think we've got to be sensible about this. The chances of anything notably cold happening this Christmas are very low. I don't think we're going to get northern blocking. We're not going to get Arctic northerly or Siberian easterly winds. So it's not going to be a really cold Christmas. I think that is now well and truly off the table. However, we may get lucky from a colder perspective and just pull down some slightly colder air around Christmas Day. That's what tonight's update was suggesting. It's a bit touch and go, but if it came off, at least it would feel a little bit more seasonable for the big day itself. But overall, this is an unsettled westerly Atlantic-driven pattern that is setting up for the last sort of week or so of December. So I think the chances of anything notably cold or wintry, famous last words, never can tell with the weather, as I say, but I think the chances of anything notably wintry happening this Christmas are reducing very rapidly all the time with each model run. So you've got the 23rd Christmas update coming up for you on Monday, and then I'll have only 2 more to do, and then we'll be pretty much at Christmas and finished with these updates for this year. Don't forget to check out Weekend Broadcast if you'd like to do that. Thanks for tuning in on your Saturday evening. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.